stream should be going live. Okay.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna explain stuff as it's happening. So we start off, we go to hell. And in hell, there's all these tentacles and this big Slappy Boy over here. If we kill Slappy Boy... No, if we kill a tentacle near Slappy Boy takes more damage. And it's impossible to kill him without downing some tentacles. So we take Slappy Boy this way. And kill some tentacles along the way. La-dum. Alright, right about here, Slappy Boy is starting to take some big damage.
This one also has the Eye of Sauron.
Yeah, this boss's theme is eyes.
What does he look like? He looks like a thing.
Where's my... Okay, here. This is the boss. So, of the old Cthulhu-esque gods, this is the god of manipulation and mind control and, you know, tentacles.
Did you leave a like on your stream?
What?
Did you leave a like on your stream?
Did I leave a like on my own stream?
Uh-huh.
No, that'd be kind of self-absorbed.
I mean, but it already has 2 likes, and it's only been up for not even a minute.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, there's at least one other person who was watching stream. It might be the bot.
I don't think that bot... I mean, I think a bot can give you views, but I don't think it can leave likes.
I mean, sure they can leave likes. They're just fake profiles.
I mean, I suppose, but I mean, bots are usually, like, bots. Unless, like, someone's getting you, like, a like bot.
You can like bot things. You shouldn't like bot things, but you can like bot things.
I mean, do you want me to bot you some likes?
Please no. I don't want to get banned.
Okay, that's fair. Good, the other 3 views were then.
Alrighty.
Or can you get view bots? Because every time, like, I watch a video, like, especially with the Dead Cells thing, like, it only ever counts my view, but I always see their comment first.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't. It's all fucky somehow.
Man, stupid YouTube.
It's all wibbly wobbly timey wimey. You know how it is.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if you can hear my voice on this stream. Can you get mute bot? Oh yes, you can.
Oh boy. Yeah, you're right next to the microphone, just because that's where I have room for my phone.
Okay.
Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. Oh god, so bad.
Oh no.
Okay, we're good. Right, I was explaining stuff, or trying to. So, these little black spheres over my head, they're paranoia bubbles. If you stand far away from your friend who also has paranoia, you both take massive fucking damage. And probably die.
Well, it looks the little things from the Quest for Camelot.
Kinda, yeah.
You wouldn't know that reference because I haven't shown you that movie yet. But one day
One day.
I'll be like, fuck Gravity Falls. We're gonna watch the Quest for Camelot.
Alright. Okay, so we are once again at stage 2 of vulnerability.
Mm-hmm. Is this last boss?
Yeah, this is N'Zoth the Corruptor. The giant brain thing in the middle. That's N'Zoth.
Okay. Well, this one looks a little bit better than the other one before. Ooh, giant stopper. I wonder if there's such a thing as Venus flytrap hentai.
I can promise you that there is, and if you're really curious, I could help you find some.
No. I'm good.
So when you say Venus flytrap, would piranha plants count? Like from Mario. Because those are basically Venus flytraps.
Well, I suppose it's like the same idea, right?
Yeah, because there's definitely a lot of hentai of those bastards.
Why? Like, I don't know why it came into my mind. I feel sick just for thinking about it, but the fact that people go out of their way to draw art of that is weird.
It's Rule 34. Like, there's porn of everything, especially where furries are concerned.
Is that a thing? Do people want to fuck plants? Is that like a paraphilia?
You have no idea. Mostly tentacle rape plants, but yeah.
I mean, I guess that I prefer that to zoophilia, obviously. But it's still kind of weird.
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's really weird. Unless they're sexy plants, then it's like, I can see that.
Are you attracted to any plants, Jack?
Not, like, plants, but anthropomorphic sexy plants, maybe.
Oh, because I'm not talking about, like, art. I'm talking about, like, if, like, there are any people with that kind of paraphilia that want to, like, just fuck plants.
Probably?
Like, people who look at a tree, it's like, I want to tap that.
I mean, I wish the answer was no, but unfortunately the answer is probably.
I mean, I feel like that exists. If people want to fuck ghosts, people definitely want to fuck plants.
Oh yeah, for sure. Where did I leave my body? Oh yeah, it's over here.
So did you die?
No, when you go down to hell, it's actually your brain leaving your body, or your soul leaving your body. I'm sorry.
This place does kind of look like Tartarus a bit.
Like what?
Oh, Tartarus?
I can see it. With the walls made out of meat.
That sounds like one hell of a wall. I dig it.
Meat curtains.
I mean, as long as it's not human meat, you know?
Oh no, it's demon god meat.
That's okay then. It's not, you know, as long as it's not corpse party meat, I'm happy.
Oh, this is the opposite direction that I thought we were gonna walk, but it's okay.
Ew, it was looking at you. That's disgusting. Ew, it's
Yep.
blinking. Ew.
Ooh, I'm in a rough spot.
Oh, it's disgusting. It looks like Squidward.
I need to make it 30 seconds without going insane. If I go insane, bad things happen.
Don't go insane. Think about things that you like. Think of cheese.
13 seconds. Oh, God. All right, cool. Recovered sanity. Back in the fight.
And
Ooh. We gonna get it? We gonna get him? Woo! And he dead!
yay! Ooh.
And cutscene.
Oh, there's a cutscene?
Yeah.
Corruption levels approaching 100%.
Like, I don't know, for whatever reason, when I use YouTube on my laptop, the video lags a little.
Well, I mean, that's just YouTube in general. It's like, if you're streaming, it streams like 10 seconds lag.
I mean, I suppose, but like when I watch the stream from my phone, it's definitely seconds like ahead of YouTube on my laptop.
Interesting.
This is the first time I've ever seen an World of Warcraft cutscene.
Firing sequence initiated.
Didn't even know the game had any.
Yeah, it has cutscenes. They were just lackluster this time around, except for this one. This one's pretty cool.
I mean, it's beautifully animated for sure. I like the blue animation.
Beam.
Oh. Reminds me of Tron.
And that's how you kill a god. Not an actual god, a demon god.
Is there a difference?
So in this game, there are the Titans that kind of created the world, and the old gods who are like corrupted tentacle monsters that are kind of mad at the Titans for doing that. I don't know. The lore of this game is kind of convoluted and stupid.
My favorite Titan is Godzilla. Oh, you know what? That would be a great MMO. Just a MMO full of Godzilla monsters.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know who the other person watching is. It's just Like, there are apparently people who actually watch my content that I don't know in person, that don't comment or anything. And, like, they might be view bots, but sometimes they're not.
I don't know. I don't know if view bots actually exist. Like bots, yes. Sub bots, yes. But I don't know about view bots.
Well, like, there's this Tyler... there's a new bot following me. Tyler Winter.
Oh, Tyler Winter? Uh-huh. That's interesting.
Let me see. If I scroll down to comments, he left one comment as Tyler, another comment as Tyler Winter.
Mm-hmm.
Seems kind of spammy, but...
I mean, have you replied to him?
I have now.
Yeah, because, like, I think if they reply or leave more than one comment usually, or refer to anything in the video like Fish and Chips has.
Yeah, like Fish and Chips is a real person, for sure.
Yeah.
Comical Canadian, absolutely not a real person. The Trap Dude, definitely a series of bots. This Tyler guy, I don't know. He's got a human profile picture. He's leaving some basic-ass bot comments, but some people are basic as shit, so I don't know.
I mean, is it the normal, like, oh, this video is great, you should follow me, or some shit like that?
Yeah, the YouTube friend follow for a follow dude, he kind of fucked off or stopped asking for subs, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if Tyler is doing that, then he might just be a bot.
No, Tyler's just like, cool video, I loved it. Amazing video, I loved it. Both of which are bot comments, but...
Yeah.
I'll hold off judgment.
But if he replies, then I think you can tell he's real. But if he doesn't, then he's a bot or a slut.
Hasn't replied yet? What if he's a slut bot?
I mean, those also exist, but I think he's on the wrong platform.
Hey.
You go to Tinder for that.
Oh, you right.
That's a pretty tree. Are you the burb, or are you flying on a burb?
I was flying on the burb. If we zoom in, I'm blood barf dude with fidget spinners.
Are there actual fidget spinners in this game?
There are. They have swords on them.
Chakra?
Not chakra. They're fidget spinners. I mean, I don't know what else you'd call these. Yeah, here video's catching up. It's like there's a zoom in and they're fidget spinnies.
I mean, I've always called them chakrams.
Yeah, but chakrams are real weapons, aren't they?
Yeah.
These are not. The spinny bit is not connected to the stabby bit.
I mean, good point, but I mean, Axel has those kinds of weapons in Kingdom Hearts, and he calls them chakras.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Axel has chakrams. I have chakrams that have magical floating spinners on them.
I mean, I'm gonna call them chakrams.
Okay.
Because, I don't know, calling anything a fidget spinner just seems like so 2016.
It definitely is. You know me, Jenna. I'm just in it for the memes.
You're just there for the memes. You're a meme lord.
Yep. The dankliest of meme lords.
What do you call the things that you're using to fly around?
Oh, my Robobird?
Yeah, the things that you had that expanded from your shoulder blades.
What?
Like, weren't you flying around just a second ago?
No, I was riding on top of a mechanical parrot.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
It looks like you had wings.
Probably just since I was zoomed out so far. Let's get
Get Croc.
mechanical parrot. And as
mean,
always, it'll take video a little bit to catch up.
I mean, it's gonna stay lagged. I don't think there's anything I can do about that.
Yeah, well, that's just how YouTube does it, is it takes 10-ish seconds to process the video and distribute it. And that's just how YouTube streams. That's how most places stream. I don't think any streaming platform does it large scale instantly, just because, like, it takes the time to encode it and compress it and decompress it, which saves massively on bandwidth.
I mean, I'm not mad at it, but this is why I would never, like, watch anything on Twitch, because it's too glitchy, and the lag on Twitch is so embarrassing.
Well, that's the thing, is if I had a good upload speed, it wouldn't be so glitchy low res. And
I mean, just fine.
and the other thing is that if you interact with your audience like vocally in stream, then they see things more or less as they happen, and there's not as obvious a delay because your voice is delayed to match the video content.
Do you want me to stop talking to you?
No. I love my Jenna.
Yeah, I love you too. Oh, the tentacle ground. Creepy. You know what? That's the kind of apocalypse I want to see. Not zombie apocalypse. I want everyone to magically turn into a tentacle and just sprout out from the ground. That would be horrifying.
Oh, these wings! I've just remembered I do have a trinket that gives me wings every now and then.
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about before. But I was waiting for you to come up with like a meme word to describe them.
They're my flappers.
Yeah.
We're going 1920 style, yeah.
Yeah, 1920s. What do they call it? Not jazz. What was it? Swing music.
Yep.
Which, by the way, did you ever listen to that song that I sent you on Discord? That's the Mentos Kids outro.
I don't remember.
But probably not.
Yeah.
It's okay. Ooh, dragon. So these are not bosses, right? They're regular enemies?
Yeah, after that cutscene, I went to go do some regular enemy stuff. But do I have enough for a danger dive?
Like, are you still on chat with your guild, or
I mean,
is this about the time where everything like fucks off?
technically I'm still in chat with them, but I'm muted, so I don't have to listen to them.
Makes ooh, Egyptian lady, right? Yeah, Egyptian, is that racist? I don't know. No, she was Sumerian.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Me neither.
You never know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about sometimes. When it's like game stuff and some movies I've seen.
The rest of the time, you're just like, I don't know. I'm just listening.
Well, yeah, it's the thing. It's like, if I listen when I don't know what you're talking about, I learn what you're talking about. And then I know what you're talking about.
I want to know who the other person watching is, because I know it's not counting your view on your own stream.
It shouldn't be.
It's not. Well, I'm pretty sure it's not, unless, like, you have it on in the background.
I don't. And it does say there's currently 2 people watching it.
Interesting. Ooh, triangle bill.
Participants, no.
Next raid, though, you really should just either talk as Old Man McGucket or Suits for the entire stream.
Oh,
And don't warn anyone about it. Just see if they catch on and like, who the fuck is this guy talking?
Discord will show them who's talking, and they'd pinpoint it as me pretty quickly, but...
Damn, well, that sucks.
yeah.
Stupid Discord.
But the good news is...
Yes?
I can make 300 Xanthid and 100 Anchorweed. Oof. That's an expensive trinket.
Are there dinosaurs in this game?
What?
Are there dinosaurs in this game? Because I saw a dinosaur.
Oh yeah, I've actually got a dinosaur pet mount. Here, let me... I've got a Tombstalker zombie dino.
Zombie. Oh, that's a mashup.
Yeah. Here, hold on. We'll wait for video to catch up. Oh wow, it takes that video a while to catch up. Alright, so I'll go ahead and start flipping through some of my favorites. There's Zombie Dino, I've got Magma Dragon, I've got Purple Phoenix, we've got a good white Puppo, we've got a purple dragon, kind of like that one we were fighting.
Like a drink.
Yeah. Got Robot Parrot. We've got the Buddy Rocket, where I can have a buddy hop on the back seat. We've got Mechano Cat. It's a cat, but a machine. Let's see, White Dragon. Ooh, we got a Magic Kitty. Magic Kitty.
Kitty. Oh, that purple bird looks the best.
There's a dinosaur. Yeah, Purple Bird was my favorite for a while. We've got a whole bunch of doggos, some more birds, zombie horse.
By the way, tell your brother if he's really hungry and his family gets really hungry to check like dollar stores or Five Below.
Okay. Here we go. You want a dinosaur? I've got a Cobalt Pterodax. He was a expensive one. All right, beneath him I've got a giant tick bat thing. It's terrifying. Got some rhinoceros. Scorpion dude.
Oh, looks like you had the thing from Up.
Angry Pup, the thing from Up? Oh, the one of the Wind Riders. I've got a couple of those birds. Here we go. We got a purple one. Hawkstrider. I somewhat collect mounts. Some people go... There's a lot of mounts in this game, and some people go hard after collecting them. I collect some of them.
I mean, some people only play Final Fantasy with their GFs. So, I don't. I'm not surprised that people play games a certain way.
Yeah.
To see if they can.
Wait, was that a dig at me?
Huh?
I play Final Fantasy without my girlfriend.
No, like, GFs are an actual thing.
What?
GFs, like, within, like, the world of Final Fantasy, they're, like, an actual thing.
Oh. Well, I've got a Thunder Noodle. Ah, here we go. Triceratops.
Triceratops!
He's a good one.
Let's see. Like, I've seen white tigers. I've seen Triceratops, a pterodactyl.
Yeah, I've got a pretty robust collection.
I have not seen a well, no, I saw a Dragon Zord. I don't think I've seen the rest of the Power Ranger crew.
I don't know what the Power Ranger crew entails, but I've got some of them.
I mean, all you ever need to say it's morphin time, and I will immediately start talking about Power Rangers.
It's morphine time! Oh man, did you hear the story that back when like the morphine epidemic was at its height in Africa, I think, where English was a second language for a lot of them, there were the Power Rangers It's Morphin Time watches that got confiscated and banned on suspicion of them being drug paraphilia, where morphin was supposedly a misspelling of morphine. The watches were like, it has a very clear drug-inducing message. It's morphine time. It's time for your next shot of morphine. And I'm like, ooh, not what that's about, but I see where you're coming from.
I love that logic.
I mean, what's morphin come from?
Morph?
Yeah, like, from metamorphosis. Okay, I get it. Yeah, it's like, there's transformation, but morphing comes from metamorphosis. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it.
Like, one of my favorite catchphrases from, like, early Power Rangers is, it's more phenomenal.
More phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's quite something.
Like, that's top tier pun.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, but I'm taking you with me. You might hear the sound of me just moaning orgasmically as I take a righteous piss. Hydrate when I want it to stop. Yeah, I had ice cream. That's enough. Yeah, it's like a full 30 seconds behind me. I don't know. Oh boy. Oh boy. So apparently, some absolute dickhead, when the first death of coronavirus was announced on May 1st, rented a fucking U-Haul trailer and went on a 2-day road trip to every single store in a 3-state radius around me, buying 18,000 bottles of hand sanitizer and disinfectant wipes to try to price gouge, and Amazon has banned him from selling anything for price gouging, and now he's complaining that he can't find anywhere to sell all of the stuff. No. Why? 18,000 bottles of hand sanitizer with the intent of selling them back to other people at a profit. And Amazon has banned him for price gouging, and now he's bitching on social media because there aren't any platforms that will let him sell.
Yeah, a lot of people are like price gouging, and like I've even like my own friends on Facebook buying loads and loads of toilet paper and like trying to sell them for like $15.
Like, what? You don't need that much. You just need like 1 month's worth, which is one fucking package.
Yeah, that's a pretty shitty thing to do.
And,
No
like,
pun intended.
I think the funniest part is that toilet paper isn't imported from China. The toilet paper factories are still creating toilet paper. And there's not going to be a long-term shortage. There's just going to be the short-term shortage of people hoarding it.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, I've seen, like, terrible things where people are now, like, buying baby wipes, and babies are gonna be the ones to go with that. That's pretty mean.
Yeah, that's pretty suck.
But, yeah. I mean, I haven't had any trouble in finding toilet paper lately. Just people aren't checking dollar stores or anything.
People stupid.
Okay, now you're playing the game again.
Yeah, it took a while. Ow, my throat. Yeah, I don't know why that was. I think I got something caught in my throat there. I'm gonna have a cough drop.
Yeah, are you gonna have enough cough drops?
Yeah, I still got most of that bag. I haven't needed them terribly much recently. This was the first one I've grabbed in like a month. So, well, not a month, a week or two, but...
You live near or around a Family Dollar, don't you?
I live near enough to cough drops that it would not be difficult to get more.
Like, the blue colors in this game are really on point.
Yeah, they are.
Like, I don't know why, but they definitely stand out compared to all the rest of, like, the color scheme things. Like, even, like, the green stuff in the background, like the volcano or the hill or whatever that is.
Yeah. I'm gonna crank my graphics up to max. There we go,
Okay.
that's better.
Does that make it lag even more?
I don't know, we'll find out.
Because it still looks pretty much the same to me.
Yeah, I don't see anything different.
Oh, okay, now I see you're changing it. Okay. See, will anything change? No, not a thing.
I think the main thing that changes is draw distance and when it starts populating characters. Like, for where I am right now, there's a lot of stuff on the ground that the game has drawn in that it would not usually have drawn in at this distance. Oh, wow, yeah! Oh, God, I can see so much further now. Here. So if we crank this back down to 7 and hit apply... Yeah, it's like there's so much better draw distance at higher.
Interesting.
Cool.
The sirens can.
What?
Sirens can.
What about sirens can?
I don't know, like I thought that little hut said the sirens can.
I don't think there's any
You-
sirens around
I
here.
guess you'd be way past it, actually.
Yeah.
If I can show you the world. Sonic and Shimmering Dragon.
I like my purple dragon.
Pretty looking dragon.
And dead.
Oh, man.
Slapper. That was supposed to be a slapper. How dare you not get slapped?
Bondage. Giant thing lady.
Yeah, and then when you free her, she attacks you, because that makes sense.
Yeah, that's like the Louis Dead girl.
Dum
What is she
dum.
supposed to be?
What?
What is she supposed to be? A snake?
She is what this game calls a naga, which are exclusively aquatic naga. Well, amphibious, but fish-shaped.
So you have a fetish for her, that's what you're saying.
Oh, for sure. They actually featured pretty heavily in this expansion. The naga were created when an elf city that was in the middle of the ocean got flooded and got turned into basically Atlantis, except none of the elves could breathe underwater, and that big tentacle boy we just killed was like, hey, queen of this city, I'll save you, and I'll save everyone's lives from drowning, but you have to be my slaves. And she was like, fuck you, I'll drown before I'll be your slave, but if you let me keep my free will, then I'll still serve you, and I'll be a queen, and I'll command your armies, but I'm nobody's bitch. And she says this to his fucking face while he's like, I could kill you in an instant. And this mad bitch just opens her mouth and inhales water like, I'm not fucking bluffing. He's like, alright, fine. I'll let you keep your free will. But he didn't let them keep their bodies, and he turned all of the elves in that city into the aquatic naga. And that's why the naga have always been enemies, because they serve the evil tentacle demon god. But now that he's dead, there is a possibility that we might get naga as a playable race in the next expansion, with their queen liberated and N'Zoth dead.
We must be excited for that.
I am. I mean, this expansion added another furry race, the Volpira. That was kind of fun. Fox people.
Well, Pierre, those are like the fox things, right?
Yes. And, like, I was really hoping they would add the Sethrak, which are... Here, let me get close to one.
Well, keep in mind the lag.
Yeah.
So don't play way too soon.
So if I get a good look... The Sethrak are these bipedal cobra snake-looking dudes that I'm still not to yet. I'll get there soon.
Don't worry. You've got time.
Oh, yeah, I've got time. Yeah, these dudes. These are the Sethrak. And I was really hoping we'd get them as a playable race, because they're like cool snake dudes, and they have blades on their tails, and rattles, and cobra stuff. Like, they're rattlesnake cobras. But, no, we get foxes.
I mean, foxes are awesome.
Foxes make good cock holsters, but, I mean, since we're at war, I would think the snake people would be better at combat.
It depends on the kind of fox.
Why? Do some foxes make better cock holsters than others?
I don't know what you mean when you say cock holster. It's making me uncomfortable.
A cock holster, a holster for your cock. They exist to, like, you shove them onto your cock to keep it warm when you're not having sex.
That's weird, but that's not what I was getting at with the fox comment. I was saying that there are probably some species that are more durable and combative than others.
Yeah, and I understand that. This species is mostly traders and caravan people. They're gypsies. They're not warriors. They're not conquerors. They're traders, which is like, why do we want them? Like, as allies, sure, but as a playable race for combat, doesn't really make sense.
I mean, I'm good with the fox.
Huh.
So was what's his face? Nick Wilde? Is that his name?
Nick Wilde. See, he was a grifter. He wasn't a soldier. He was a steely boy.
True. Was he a steely boy? Did he steal things? I don't know.
He was a scam artist.
I've not seen the movie since it came out.
That was his whole thing. Is he was a scam artist.
There.
Like, he wanted to be in the herbivore forest scouts or something, but he got bullied for it and they muzzled him, so he was like, you know what, if people are going to see me as, like, a thief, then I'm going to be a thief and I'm going to steal these fuckers blind. And he did, and GG.
Yeah. That whole racist allegory in that movie was executed.
Yeah, the racism allegory and the cocaine allegory was just a little bit oof.
I don't like the movie, and I don't think I'll ever like the movie, but I can appreciate the message behind it.
Yeah? Like, you know the whole cocaine subtext, right?
No, I've not heard of that.
Oh, boy. Okay, so the Night Howlers made the creatures effectively feral, right? Like, savage, violent, mindless. So...
Theory on that?
What? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a film theory on it, but there was a thing that happened in, I think, Puerto Rico or Colombia, where there was some sort of Mesoamerican or South American nation that was having a civil war or something. And they asked the U.S. for help, and the U.S. was like, we could maybe help you, but we're not going to pay for it. It's up to you to find a way to pay for it. And now this is as deep as conspiracy theories get, but the conspiracy theory is that the United States government actively encouraged this nation to sell drugs to African American people in America to fund their civil war. Again, there's evidence for it, but it was never really proven. It's a whole conspiracy theory that film theory was like, we're not going to take a stance on whether or not we think this is true, but, you know, cocaine, it makes people crazy. It makes them violent, makes them a little bit mindless. Very similar to how the Night Howlers target the Predator class in the movie. So on top of the racism angle, there was also the drugs explicitly targeting the minority angle that was that was a thing.
Yeah, I remember watching that video.
I'm done playing WoW for the day. I take it back. I want to do a dungeon. Where's the dungeons at? Pre-made groups. Dungeon. Find a group.
Would you ever want to do cocaine?
Hell no. Hard no for hard drugs. Weed? That's a good time. Physically addictive substances are not what I want in my life.
Yeah, I've seen people going through withdrawals from cocaine and all those kinds of drugs before, and it's not pleasant to be around them.
No, it doesn't look pleasant at all, actually.
I can't imagine actually being the person going through withdrawal, when I've only seen it secondhand.
It would suck. It's gotta really suck.
Mm-hmm. Then again, I guess I get crazy like that immediately when the internet has gone out.
Me too.
That's the easiest way to go from 0 to 100. Mess with my internet. And I'll be your bitch. Please, I will do anything. Just give me back the internet. Ooh, Flappy Bird.
They say you have the heir of the throne. Give my regards.
Alright.
And reach lower than the wagon.
Stuff that endur. 10-11 could be fun.
So, structured after a specific time period?
What?
Is the world structured after like a specific time period or like culture?
Is the World of Warcraft structured? It is. I want to say it's pretty firmly set in the classic horse and sword era of magic and swords and archery and all of that stuff, but at the same time, there is also an amount of mechanization. Like, the gnomes and goblins specifically have built, like, for example, rockets that fly around and shit, and jetpacks and flamethrowers. So, while most of the world is, like, that very classic medieval setting, there are, you know, technological advancements. Most of them are too dangerous to use and will blow up in your face, but, you know, it's a risk that's worth taking.
Like, I don't know if it looks like it takes place in like medieval times or something like that, because like the temple I'm seeing you at right now looks very Aztec.
Oh yeah, this specific nation that I'm in right now is very heavily structured on Aztec cultures. If I go somewhere else, let me head back to the capital city of the Horde at large. That's the capital city of the Zandalarian trolls. But if we head back to Aggramar, it's taking a while to load. You take your time. Whew.
We'll be there eventually.
There we go. Alright. So, Aggramar is a more traditional orc-style city. We got huts, spikes, stonework, dirt paths. You know how it goes.
I don't know, I was kind of liking the whole aesthetic of the other culture thing, because I've never really seen that in a video game before.
Oh yeah, the whole Aztec aesthetic, it really works, and it's really cool. I take it back. I will say that zone is pretty cool looking. I'll show off the Jade Forest a little bit. I'm going to a different expansion at the moment. Mists of Pandaria, if the pandas weren't a clue, is based very heavily on Chinese myths and culture and visual aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna load in here really quick.
If they consider, like, within culture and, like, their whole, like, time range or whatever, if they have different areas of, like, Middle Ages.
I mean, the whole game, I take it back. The game does have a timeline that is progressing, but technologically, there aren't, like, new breakthroughs in technology. Occasionally new breakthroughs in magic, but it's all more or less locked to its one time period. But it does draw inspiration from different time periods of the world. Like the Aztec American, that is an old culture that they're drawing inspiration from. But the human capital is a more modern medieval, like 14th or 15th century castle, where Pandaland over here's got some Chinese stuff going on, and I don't even know what time period this architecture was popularized in, but I know it was a long-ass time ago. Let's see, there's, the trolls are kind of Jamaican. Some of them are.
I mean, that could be its culture, I suppose.
Well, they have Jamaican accents. I don't know how much of their, architecture and lore is inspired from Jamaica, but... you know, they got the voodoo man. They all about the spirits. Which, the cross section of having Jamaican accent trolls and Mesoamerican Aztec stuff at the same time. It's a funky mix.
It's a good mix. It definitely complements the world. It looks like.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Ah, we got a Seth rack on the loading screen. It's a nice iconic pose.
I wouldn't know. I haven't seen it yet. You're just still flapping around.
Yeah, it happens. 13 plus siege, I'll sign up for that. Got a tank and a healer already. That's good show.
So, are you part of like any other guilds, or are you allowed to be?
No. You can be in one guild at a time. I'm just looking at basically the help wanted board, where these are other groups that are doing the dungeon that I want to do, and the different number at the left, when it gets to it, is the different difficulties of that dungeon. Like, a +6 is a rank 6, a +14 is a rank 14 dungeon. Additional modifiers are added in at +2, +5, and +7? I think, and then definitely at +10. Anything above a +10 is like, this is big boy serious time. 15 is the highest level that loot scales to, and anything above a 15 is like mental. Like 17, 19, that's like, holy shit, you guys are higher up than I have the gear for right now. I'm looking for 12s and 13s at the moment, mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Temple. I could do an 11, maybe.
How do nerds find each other then?
What?
By looking at the... How do nerds find each other just by looking at these boards?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can go to the top and type in a dungeon, and then the message board will pull up all of the groups that have publicly listed that they want to do that dungeon. And then I ask, hey, yo, can I join your group for this dungeon? And then if they like my character setup, they're like, yeah, sure. And if they don't like me, then they're like, nah, we'll find someone else.
Interesting. I guess that's the good thing about MMOs is that you get to talk to people.
I hate talking to people.
I mean,
I'll get a mother load.
the introvert, you know, I don't think it's necessarily wise for a game to rely on the social interaction, and from the looks of it, it doesn't look like it.
World of Warcraft actually leans pretty heavily on social interaction. That's... like, the sense of community and fellowship of a guild is a huge part of what kept this game alive.
Right, because they've been around for eons.
Yeah, and when this game first came out, back in... when was WoW released? November 23rd, 2004. 16 years ago, when this game was released, it was a piece of shit. And Like, I did not play true Classic. I started when they released the expansion, which was Burning Crusade, the first expansion. And Burning Crusade it added content to the game, but it didn't refine the game very much. Like, this system of... Oh, hey, party's full. This system over here of being able to just pick up a roster, you couldn't do that. Like, if you wanted to do a dungeon, you had to stand in the town square and shout, "I want to do this dungeon," for 15 minutes to try to find a group. Raiding, same thing. Like, I hope that your guild has a dedicated raid group, because once you're in, you're not going to get any more people. You can't just, like, add someone in from across the world to join your raid group. It was who's in your guild, and that's it. Quests. If I open my map, you see all these markers that show me where the quests are? Yeah. Those didn't exist. In Classic, you had to read the text of the quest and then go try to find the monster that you needed to kill for the quest. You had no indication that you were doing the right thing. It was just, the quest was either complete or not complete, and you had to just wander around in circles until you found the right zone. Like, World of Warcraft Classic was a steaming pile of garbage compared to modern standards. A lot of the problems that it had were limitations based on the technology. Take two. A lot of the problems that WoW Classic had were caused by the technological limitations of the time. Computing has advanced significantly since then, and because of that, they've been able to make the game easier to play and more, what's the phrase? Quality of life improvements. There have been so many countless quality of life improvements that improve the ease of access of the game. The game didn't have back then. Like, World of Warcraft was an unfriendly game to play, and it survived on the backbone of the social aspect of getting your friends into a guild and hanging out with them and being, like, a reliable place to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Which it still is.
Yeah. Like, but WoW 2004, I feel like this game has always been in my, like, social consciousness somewhere.
Yeah. Like, I remember a time when I didn't know what WoW was, but... Wait a minute. World of Warcraft is older than YouTube, isn't it?
Made in 2005.
Yeah, YouTube was in 2005. World of Warcraft predates YouTube.
Wow. But not by a ton.
By a year.
That's not a lot of time.
Not
I can
terribly.
remember a time before YouTube existed for sure. I can't really remember World of Warcraft not existing somewhere in the back of my mind.
I can remember a time when the internet didn't exist.
Those were simpler times. I think I was happier then.
Everyone, that's the nostalgia speaking. Everyone always thinks of their childhood as a simpler, happier time, and in most cases that's not true. For our generation, yeah, the world was a hell of a lot simpler when we were kids compared to the complexities of modern society nowadays with all the technology and integration, but I don't think that necessarily means it was better. We had old-timey racism back then.
Yeah, I mean, but I think every generation feels like that. Like, their childhood was always the best, and adults are always seeing this or that as, like, weird technology. Like, I'm sure there were adults that hated the invention of the radio. Like, why are you always listening to the radio? Go do the dishes. Piece of worthless crap.
There is, on record, a college professor, and I don't even know when, bitching about paper. Like, he was complaining about students these days have no idea how to write on a chalkboard, and it'll ruin them later in life. What are they going to do when they run out of paper? They've got no idea how to write on chalk. Like, actually convinced that paper was a bad thing, and that we shouldn't be using it. Like, and it comes with a subtitle, proof that there always has been, and always will be, some old dude bitching about young people technology.
That's a. I mean, I feel like, of course, that's but I didn't even know paper was invented.
Yeah. Well, like, maybe not invented, but modernized. Paper's been around for a long-ass time, but it wasn't, like, heavily used until, I don't know.
Like what you know about paper, not like parchment paper?
Yeah, like writing paper, like notebooks, like college-style notebooks.
I mean, I've never even heard of anyone carrying around like a portable chalkboard to write things down.
Yeah, well, like this. Well, this is a quote from like the 40s or something. Like, it wasn't from the modern era. It's an old quote from back when chalkboards were the thing that students wrote on.
I never knew that was a thing. I've never heard of that. That's interesting.
Well, the more you know. Oh boy.
That would be so inconvenient too, because like you get chalk all over your hands and you get gross chalk with hands.
Exactly. There was an entire technique to writing on a chalkboard without making a mess of everything. And this old dude was complaining that modern students didn't have that skill set because they'd been spoiled by paper or something.
I guess he's right.
Well, he's technically right, but chalkboards aren't relevant anymore. They've been entirely replaced by paper because paper is a better way to write things down.
Paper is eventually going to be replaced too, just in terms of technology. Like, I'm sure more students will start relying on their notes in their phone, or whatever app they can take notes on within their phone, or an iPad or something like that.
Now, here's the thing, is that you might be right, and paper might someday be replaced, but paper is so integral and so useful that I find it hard to believe that paper will ever truly be gone. Just because, like, a technology, a laptop, touchscreen needs battery.
Yeah, I just mean in terms of, like, school. Like, I don't think anyone will ever forget necessarily how to write on paper. God, I hope not. Because I definitely prefer writing on paper to writing anywhere else.
Yeah. And fuck writing on touchscreens with a stylus.
I hate that. Like, I hate whenever, like, I have to, like, sign my name on something. Because I was like, I don't know who this person is. I can't even read my own handwriting.
Am I still streaming?
Yeah.
Ah, cool. So this is Mechagon. This is one of the... This is a dungeon, but it's one of the... It's a dungeon run by gnomes, which is why it's got, you know, electric lights and giant machine walkers and stuff like that.
Interesting. Go ask my mom sometime if she ever wrote on the chalkboard.
Maybe.
I mean, she started, like, I don't know, she probably wouldn't use notebooks like a normal person. She's a battle. I wonder if your grandmother would remember something like that, though.
Almost definitely.
I've never heard of that before. That's super interesting.
This dude would disorient me right when I activate my high damage ability. Like, you're wasting my ability, dude. I've been completely ignoring bursting for this entire dungeon. I hope the healer doesn't hate me. Oh, let's slow that down a little bit. Okay, we're good. So at a plus 12, there are all modifiers for this week are active. One of them, Skittish, makes enemies less likely to attack the designated tank and more likely to attack other non-tank characters. Which is bad because the tank is the only one durable enough to take hits, so it's harder for the tank to keep aggro or aggravation of everything. Luckily, I've got an ability that redirects all of my threat onto the tank, which means not only do enemies not attack me, it also makes them more likely to attack the tank and completely negates that modifier, basically for the entire group. As long as I remember to activate that ability every time it's off cooldown, which I don't always get, but I get close a lot of times. This tank's taking us on a funky path. Like, it's not a bad path, it's just kind of funky. One of the other things that pops up, if you see, so my map in the top right, there's buffs on the top and then red bordered debuffs beneath it. If you see the one pop up that looks just like a fountain gush of blood burst, that deals damage to the entire group based on how many enemies have died recently. It stacks. So if you kill all the enemies at the same time, your group's gonna die because it's too much damage for the healer to heal. So you have to kind of stagger out the enemy's deaths so they don't all die at once, so the healer doesn't just fall over and faint. Which, that is something I have not been paying attention to, and I probably should pay more attention to it, but we're kind of doing okay, so yeah.
I guess the main course of...
Let me see. Can I open my book to see what the other modifiers are mid-combat without missing my combinations? Let's see. Alright. I somehow did that. Somehow. Okay, I fucked up my combo a little bit, but it's okay. So the other modifier is Tyrannical, which is bosses have more health and do more damage, so they're harder to kill. And then the other one is the Seasonal Affix Awakened. So the first one, Tyrannical, swaps out with Fortified every week, so it's either bosses are harder or mobs are harder. The middle two rotate on a selection of like 10 or 15 different choices, and the last one's always the same, Awakened. We did one... Oh, God. I couldn't stop him. So if you see one of the giant spooky spires pop up, and we click on it, and we go down to hell for a little while, that is what that 10th modifier is. If we don't go down to hell and kill the enemy that's down there, that enemy spawns at the final boss. And you cannot fight all 4 of those enemies and the final boss all at once. You have to fight them in the middle of the dungeon. Which, it's not the worst modifier, because they're pretty self-contained. They're just a thing that you have to do. So we did the 1 spire over here. There's going to be 3 more spires that we have to get to and do. Oh, boy. This tank is confident in the group and in the healer. He's doing some big pulls. Let's cool it a little bit. Oh, guys, bursting. Guys, bursting. They can't hear me, but bursting. Okay.
loud. I think I've been paying attention to the sound effects until now. Because I have the video on mute so you don't listen to yourself.
Yeah, that would be a little bit weird. Probably for both of us.
Hi.
Hearing myself talk from the past, it'd be, like, not weird, but just like, that's a bit funky.
Are you used to hearing your own voice yet?
No, because I don't get audio feedback from my stream. I have the audio muted, I just get the video feedback.
I'm used to edit your videos.
Like the pre-recorded ones? I've gotten pretty used to hearing myself in those.
I can never get used to hearing my own voice. It's weird.
Damn, I'm one hotkey short of having things comfortable. And I could rearrange my bar, but I'm unwilling to do that.
I believe in you.
I'm unwilling to do it. So what it is I've got my abilities from left to right. I've got Purple Dagger. That's my basic stab, and it gives me a combo point. My combo points are these red dots just below my energy bar up here. I use combo points to make other things happen. So Purple Stabby gives me a combo point. Red Stabby is a short-range small stun that will last until the target is damaged, which sounds bad, but you can use it to interrupt things that could not normally be interrupted, and it's actually kind of nice to have. I don't use it very often, but it's very nice to have. The red square next to it is my pistol shot. It does less damage than Purple Stabby, but it's got range. And every now and then Purple Stabby will bounce an effect that... Why are we doing this way? That makes my pistol shot do more damage. So if it, like there, lights up with a gold border, that means the pistol shot does more damage, I need to click it. So those all build combo points. Then over here on the right, we've got Big Stabby. That consumes combo points to do damage. We've got Shooty Gun, does damage and stuns people, but it's got a long cooldown, so I have to just use that whenever it's off cooldown. And then the last ability over here on the right, the Dice, that's the interesting one. And that's the one that I wish I could find a hotkey for, but I kind of need all of my fingers in other places. That one will give me between 1 and sometimes 5, if I'm incredibly lucky, buffs. Random from a pool that have interesting effects that will increase my damage in various ways. And my dice button, like the 1, 2, 3, and 4, I have hotkeyed to the numbers because they're just right there. I can press the numbers. R is my kick. That's an interrupt to stop people from doing spells. F button is bound to Big Stabby, which it needs to be there. And then my thumb button is Big Shooty, which also needs to be there. Like, if I could just find a button to put my dice ability on, I would have all of my super important abilities on hotkeys. So I wouldn't have to click it on the bar. But I kind of don't have anywhere to put it. Like, I could move Gouge, the red crowd control ability, to somewhere else, but it... I like having my finisher abilities that consume combo points all grouped together. So I can't really put it over there on my button 2. I've got X is my grappling hook, C is my character. I could make it Z, maybe. Z is currently the sit down button, but... This dude's taking us on a weird path.
Do you think he's their Tosma?
What?
Do you think he's their Tosma?
You know what? Tosmic would approve of this path because it, like, doesn't make much sense on the surface, but, like, after he's done it, I can see what he's going for. Like, in the moment, it's like, what the hell are you doing and where are we going? But after we get to where we're going, it's like, okay, I can see where you're going and why you took it this way, but this is not the path that I would have expected you to take us on.
The important thing about World of Warcraft for anyone is that you have fun.
Oh, I'm having fun. I'm doing some big stabbies. Even better than that, I'm the lowest DPS in the group, but I'm still very heavily in competition and pulling my weight in damage. Usually I'm the highest DPS in the group by a massive margin, and I'm having to pull other people's weight. And you know, it's really nice to have other people pulling more than their fair share of weight for once. Oh god, that hurt. I'm stunned. Never mind, we're good.
New guild.
Not guildies. My guildies are pretty good about it. They're pretty solid players, but whenever I just pug into a dungeon, which pug stands for public group, not the dog. Whenever I pug into a group, more often than not, I'm at or near the top of the charts. But not always. And this Fanatics dude, man, he's on fire. Ooh, hook shot. Minecart. Ah, my knuckles. This dungeon's nice because you get a chance on the minecart to pop your knuckles.
Mm-hmm. You're always popping your knuckles. Like, you pop your knuckles on me even when we're in the middle of coitus.
It feels good. Do women not pop their knuckles?
I can pop my knuckles. I just don't do it all the time.
I do it whenever my hands start to hurt and I feel like I need to pop my knuckles.
I think everyone does that. Yeah. Like old people, because they still think it'll like ruin your bone structure or something like that. It's stupid.
No, the myth was that if you popped your knuckles, it made your joints swell up, and that's why some dudes had massive hands. And one scientist set out to prove it. He popped the knuckles on one hand for 40 years and did not pop the knuckles on his other hand. Again, like, he started this at a young age, like, I'm going to set out to prove this. And his hands were the exact same size. After 40 years, they were knuckles the exact same size. And it's like, all right, well, I guess that's just a myth.
I don't know. As myths go, that sounds pretty silly, but I guess I see the logic behind the worry.
People worry about everything. Oh man, I'm in a bad spot. I've got 2 eyeball dudes on me, and I've got no help, and I've used all of my defensive options. Oh god, okay. Really not happy the group kind of left me there. I didn't die, somehow. Oh, I know how. It's because I'm a badass. But... yeah. So this is one of those hell portals that last difficulty modifier adds in. And the thing about the hell portals is that since you're in hell, you can walk past the enemies because the enemies aren't in hell. So you can just follow the hell boss all the way to the real boss and then skip all the enemies that you walked past. Which that is something that they added in this season of this expansion. Which a season is like a couple months. And it allows for some really funky paths.
Interesting. So what are you trying to get from all this, or is it just for fun now?
This is for fun and profit. So there is a site, Raider.io, that tracks the hardest dungeons you have beaten per season. And if you have cleared higher dungeons and Raider.io tracks this, you are more likely to get invited into other higher dungeons. Like, if you try to get into a plus 10 and Raider.io says you've only done a plus 3, people are going to take one look at that and say, nah, we don't want you in our group. We don't think that you know what you're doing, because dungeons are complicated, and if you haven't cleared a difficult dungeon, they're not going to want you to clear a difficult dungeon. Now, it's not one of those things where it's like, you have to have cleared a plus 10 to do a plus 10. Like, if you clear a plus 8, people will be like, he did a plus 8, pretty good. He's probably good for a plus 10. But I have been slacking on my IO score, and for this particular dungeon, the highest difficulty I've done was a plus 5 this season, when I am good enough to do a plus 12, clearly. So I'm doing this to publicly get my IO score up high enough, just to have it there. It's a leaderboards thing. I'm doing it for the leaderboards, but also for loot. Two of the dudes died that fight. That was a bit of a rough fight. Let's see, we're at 95% with 13 minutes. I think we're gonna plus 2 this bad boy. Yeah, now that we're at the end of the dungeon, I like this guy's route. He had us fight a lot of the enemies at the beginning of the dungeon, which are easier. Not easy, but easier. Skipped a lot of the really difficult and troubling middle dungeon fights. And we're using the purple hell portals to skip everything between them, since we can just walk past enemies we normally couldn't walk past. This is a cool route. Like, there's this entire hill up here full of enemies. We're going to use this hell portal to just walk all the way past it.
That's an interesting mechanic.
It is. I like it.
You don't have to clear like the entire dungeon area.
Do what?
Have to clear like the entire dungeon area.
No, you don't have to clear nearly the entire dungeon. Just a percentage of the small enemies and all 4 bosses. So, we have cleared all of the enemies we are required to clear, and all of these ghosty enemies are enemies that we're skipping thanks to this modifier mechanic. We clear this mini-boss, and then we clear the final boss of the dungeon, and then we collect our paycheck. See, like, this gnome dude's got a helicopter with a Gatling gun, and that's not exactly medieval technology, but he's a gnome, so he can get away with it.
That's a little bit steampunky, kind of.
Steampunk, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. It's mostly medieval, with some steampunk additions. Not all steampunk, some of it's gearpunk, but... wind-ups. They've got some Tesla punk too. Basically, fantastical machines in addition to fantastical magic.
And when I say steampunk, I usually more with the aesthetic kind of stuff.
Yeah, steampunk's got. Oh god, how did that? Okay, good, it hit, I think. We gotta make him ground pound these explosive pegs so he drops his shield. Oh, yeah, it's a good combo, I think. Yeah, it's a good combo. Oh, yes, baby. Dish out the damage. Ooh, that's a good roll. And he's dead. Mogul Razdunk has been defeated. New weekly best. +2 to the key.
Yay!
I did pretty reliably 2nd out of 3 damage. Didn't get any loot, but I got the IO score, and that's kind of what I was after. Alright, so that's Motherlode. I need a Siege of Borealis and a Temple of Sethralis. Ooh! with that dungeon complete, I think I might have just ascended to the place of the 9th best rogue on the server.
That's cool. How many rogues are there?
Let me check. On this server, 78.
Oh, like that.
So not a huge competition, but stiff enough.
I mean, 78 is a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hate to be number 78 in that list, you know?
Yeah. Let's see. That's...
Or who knows, maybe you're just the best of the best.
Well, I'm the 65th DPS on the server, so that's remarkable enough.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the 1,008 characters, I'm ranked as 68. I'll take it.
Yeah.
And as mentioned, I'm upping that score because that is my current score. That's nowhere near what I could do. If I had just plus 12s across the board, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 times 12 is 144. I have 1,100 score. I could get up to 1,400 score without breaking a sweat. I just have to find groups running the dungeons and do the dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Siege of Borealis. Is anyone running a siege right now? 21. Fuck, no. It's too big for me. 11? I could do an 11. I'd rather do a 12. I'll take a 12. Let me check really quick. What was the dungeon loot scale again? Yes, 11s, 12s, and 13s all drop 460 level gear.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess an 11 would be fine. Do a 13. See, what I should be doing is I should be prioritizing dungeons based off of what loot I need and not what score I get from them. But I don't care enough. And basically all of my gear has the wrong stats for this build I'm going for, so almost any gear could be useful to me.
I feel like if you have fun the way that you play the game, that's what's most important.
I do, but I'm in the process of switching up my play style and skill set from assassination to outlaw. And the difference is assassination uses knives and poisons and bleeding effects. Outlaw, you just stab them a whole bunch. Swords, maces, axes, beat their faces in, shoot them in the face. Piracy stuff. And I'm really fond of assassination, but when it comes down to it, outlaw is just easier to play and better damage for dungeons. Assassination's better for bosses, though. Love assassination for most bosses. But the thing is, for raiding and assassination, you want haste above everything else, and then crit strike right behind it. But mastery is also helpful. For assassination and dungeons, you want mastery, as much of it as you can get. For outlaw, you exclusively want crit strike and versatility, which is not haste and mastery. So a lot of my gear is not the best for outlaw spec, but I do enough damage. Why are these pricks not accepting me? I've got a fine IO page for a plus 12. Fuck. See, this is the problem, is like most of these people were probably looking at my IO page being like, he's only done a plus 5 for this dungeon. And I'm like, yeah, but I've done plus 12s and 13s in other dungeons with 0 problems. Let's see. Plus 12, plus 12. I'll sign up for a plus 14 and see if they bite.
Yeah, it's getting to be the end of time of the night.
It is. What I like about Outlaw is that I got this button over here, Blade Flurry. Causes your single target attacks to also strike all nearby enemies for 35% of your normal damage for 15 seconds. I've got that pumped up to 40% single target damage. And then I've also got an ability that every time that effect activates, it increases the damage of my most used ability. So I've got a lot of splash damage on this page. And funnily enough, you build an area of effect page almost the exact same as you build a single target damage page for Outlaw. Since for Outlaw, your splash damage is exclusively you hit that button and bam, you're doing splash damage. You can build single and cleave the same way. You cannot do that for Assassination. Assassination, you need an entire different gear set, different talents. And it's fun, but it's not as good for dungeons since you need single target and multi-target for dungeons. Assassination's big fun in PvP though. Just walk into a fight and put dots on everybody. What? Declined? Okay, the 14 declined me. I can accept that.
Can you never just do a dungeon by yourself?
Nope. Need a group of 5 people. Plus 14 Underrot. Might be a little bit above my pay grade.
does streaming get in the way get in the middle of your usual upload schedule?
No. Usually I'll have the videos at midnight. Oh man, that's right. I didn't upload that. Whoops. Let me hold on. Let me close World of Warcraft for just long enough to go and upload something real quick. If I'm smart, no it doesn't, but I forgot.
Well, because this usually happens like about every Saturday.
Well, because what I'll do is I'll upload like 2 weeks of video, and then I'll think like, okay, so I'll have one for Friday night, and then Saturday I'll just upload more videos, and then I forget.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
sometimes it'll upload a video like 12 hours later.
That's not the system uploading it later. That's me waking up at noon on Sunday, like, oh god, I forgot to upload a video last night. Let me upload one now, because it's still technically one per day, and then queue another one for midnight.
Mm-hmm.
I might turn the sound a little bit back up. I wonder. Video elements, fuck that. Visibility, upload the moment it's done uploading. Yes. Tags, don't give a fuck. Thumbnail, who cares? Alright. Video uploading in 3 minutes. Alright, back to World of Warcraft. Should probably stop streaming, though, so it can upload faster, though.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go to bed here in a second anyway.
Okay. Good night, baby.
Good night, Daddy.
Thanks for calling. I had a lot of fun talking with you.
Me too. It was nice.
Good night.
Good night, sweet dreams. I love you.
Love you, too.